Okay, so I bought this bike off of Facebook Marketplace for $700. I was at the guy's house, heard it crank, heard it do its thing. I brought it home, and it caught fire a little bit. But, still starts, cranks, all that. The carburetors I've taken off and are about to go clean. That's what this video is going to be about. This is step one of getting a $700 750 Ninja to running in hopefully under $200. So, now, let's go do the carburetors. Okay, so these are the carburetors. I've already loosened the bolts a bit, obviously. These bolts were a, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. They were a 932s to get these bolts off right here. So now, first time ever taking this off, we're going to try and see what the inside of this carburetor bowl looks like. And there's two of them. And I don't think they're doing it quite right because it's backfiring out of the carburetor. So this is attempt one. Okay, all four bolts are out of the carburetor bowl right here. These are all four. They all have little crush washers with them. Well, not crush washers, but little washers with slits so that way they stay on there with the vibration and everything. So this is going to be the first look at the carburetor bowl since buying it. Okay. That is a hair inside. Oh my dear goodness gracious. Look at that. Holy crap, this needs to be cleaned. This was not cleaned at all. Yeah, we're definitely probably going to have to get a new gasket too. That's, ugh. Alright, let's grab that hair out of there. That was a hair in the carburetor. Oh, look at these floats too. They definitely look stained from that gas. Alright, let's, oh geez, look at that. Look at that nozzle. Oh, it's so rusted. You guys can see down there. Come on, focus. Oh, look at all that crap. Focus down there too. Oh, so nasty. Okay, so I'm going to take out the floats and needle, and I'll come back and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so our floats and needle are out. All you have to do to get that out is, you see those little two rods there? That little pin right there goes in there, through the side of the floats, right there. So it'll sit, just like it was, and it'll go all the way through both of those. And then the little flange right there, this goes over that flange. That will go over this little flange right here. Jeez, this thing's horrible focusing. And then the needle sits in this corroded piece of junk. Oh, geez, more hair. Oh my goodness. Oh, geez, look at all that crap in there. Look at all that rust. Rust, rust, rust. It's even down there. Yeesh. Okay. So, now we look at this one. I'm a little worried after it all looking like this. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, just look at that, guys. Would you want to drink out of that? I don't think the engine wants to drink out of that. Jeez. Alright, I'm going to do the second bowl and the floats, since I've shown you that already. And then we will see what it looks like. Alright, all four bolts removed out of this one. I'm a little worried, but I hope it's going to be okay. Come on, get off of there. Okay. Oh, geez, it's even worse than the other one. Look at that. Oh, goodness gracious. It's even worse than that one. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh, that float needle. Look at all that in that float needle. Oh, and right there under it. Oh, jeez. This one was... Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, look at all that crap. This is... They're dry. I've had these float bowls, what I thought was full. Like, I filled it up with a little gas tank with this thingy. Oh, that's when it caught fire, that is. But it's completely dry on top. Oh my gosh, I must not be getting any fuel in through here. Anywhere. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm going to remove all of this, and we will see what the underside down there looks like. Okay, so the bottom of this one looks much cleaner than the other one, probably just because it wasn't getting any gas, which makes me worried and wondering if this float is stuck. But, I mean, this still, it's dry. Are you kidding me? There was stuff coming out of the bottom, like the overflow, but this was completely dry. Oh my goodness. That side, oof. This side, oof. Okay. So, I don't have any carb clean at the moment. I will get back to you guys when I do. But I want to see what the tops of these look like as well. Oh, let me know if you guys want to see anything about the RX-7. It runs and drives and everything. It just needs the rear wheels studded. So let me know if you guys want to see anything about that. Alright. Here we go with another problem. This one, the little thingy, won't come down anymore. I have no idea why. Let's see if I can. But this one, you go like this, comes back down. This one stays right up. Oh my goodness gracious. I bet the top of this one's gonna look ugly. This one, maybe not that bad. Alright, I'll see you guys when I get it off. I forgot to tell you guys this, but when I first got it, I didn't know, but this one was loose. Like, these bolts were loose. Not this loose, I just loosened this one. I retightened them earlier. But they were loose. And this little cap here was rattling around. And I had tried starting it with that loose cap. I don't know, guys. I really hope I didn't damage anything. We're going to see when we open this up. Okay, so this is both of our first time seeing this. Let's see what it looks like when we pull this off. Alrighty. Boom. Okay. A little bit, here, let me grab my light. A little weird diaphragm here going on. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But it looks pretty clean in there. Let's see if I can't. This is not going to stay here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so just because it was so hard to see, I removed the slide and slide needle. So there's our needle, there's our slide, here's our diaphragm, and here's our seat. Our seat looks pretty good, I'd say. Our diaphragm got a little bit of something right there. Come on, focus. That's good enough. And a little bit of stuff on the inside there, especially if you look at that. But it doesn't look to be too bad. So, let's see what I can do about this. Okay, so I've reassembled the diaphragm, slide, and slide needle. And I'm just holding this on here, and I'm going to lift up the slide just like this. Because I want you guys to hear this sound. Do you hear that? That means that I believe we have a good slide here. Just might be a little sticky. So I bet if we just do a little bit of cleaning, these diaphragms should be good. So I'm going to take this back apart. Got a little needle holder down there. Bring it all the way back up. Come on. Okay. There we go. Now there's our diaphragm, slide, and slide needle. If you really want, you can take your needle out by removing that and pushing it up the bottom there. Now I almost just did it on accident. Okay, let's put this all back together. So, now I want to see what this side looks like. So I'm going to take this apart for you, and we'll see in a second. Okay guys, so that bolt right there, does not want to come out. Obviously the previous owner stripped it a little bit. Same with that top one up there. So I'm going to put a little bit of WD-40, making sure not to get it in any of these orifices or on this rubber, which it would deteriorate. There we go. So I will do that, give it a minute, and try again. So I'm going to put some on there, flip it back around, and see what I can get out by just doing some stuff to the bowls, getting all that crud out of there. And then I will also see about cleaning the inside of both of these float seats and interior of the carburetor. Okay, see you guys in a second. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little WD-40 on each of these. Just a little tiny bit. Yep, there we go. Then, see if I can get a good angle on this one. There we go. Let's hope that seeps into there, penetrates, and we can get those bolts out just a little bit easier this time. Now, let's flip it over. Get that out of there. Come on. So this one actually ended up looking pretty good, but I'm definitely going to take this nozzle out and see if I can't clean that up. Same with this side. And I'm going to... Look at this. Look at all that crud. A little bit came out on my fingertip there. Ugh. Okay, so I'm going to go grab some paper towel, wipe it up a little bit, and I'm going to take those needle main jets, that's what I'm looking for, out of there. Okay, so I took out the main jet. There we go. I took out the main jet, and before, you couldn't even see through it. Oh, there you go. Now you can see through it. And it looks way better. Take a look at that one. Take a look at this one. I'm going to do that to both sides. Just, if you don't have any carb clean like I do, just use a little bottle of gas. It is corrosive and what goes in there anyway, so it works just fine. Alright, I'm going to clean this one up a little bit more and then move on to the next. Okay, so it looks much better now. Come on, focus. Much better now. A little bit better, but still better. So if you guys really want to get in that hole there, but you don't have a tool tiny enough, if you take out your slide, you'll have a slide needle. That needle goes in there anyway. It works pretty okay. Try and get some of that stuff out there if you don't have $1 million in tools like I do or anything like that. So now, move on to this thing, because this one looks better on the edges, but I bet it's going to be a tough one to try and work on. Alright, see you guys in a second. Okay, just to show you how absolutely disgusting and why this one just would not work. Come on. All that in there. There is no passage for gasoline into that carburetor at all. So I'm going to try and get all that out of there if I can. And I'll talk to you guys in a second. Okay. So now we can actually see through it. Yeah, there we go, see? So all the way through from both sides is the important part. So these seats are all nasty, the seats that these main jets go into. So I'm going to try removing these two and seeing what cleaning I can get done through there and through the port all the way up to the needle. Alright. Okay. Now I'm removing, oh my gosh, work. Removing these seats. Oop, wrong thing. Oh, okay, look at all that rust. You can't see through that very well at all. Just barely. So I'm gonna... Okay, so this one is the one that still has the diaphragm that's stuck on the top that we WD-40'd. So I'm going to let this one sit just a little bit longer, then I'll flip it over and remove that diaphragm and all that, see if I can. And then, until then, I'm going to work on this and see how clean I can get this one, because I don't know about you guys, but I think this looks much better. Let's see. And that looking through there is much better too. Look at that. So, I'm going to try and do that to this side too. Okay, so, came out, but just like the other one, it's a little bit hard to see through there. So I'm going to clean it out some more with a little bit more gas, and show you guys the end result. Alrighty, this one looks much better now. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. So now I'm going to try cleaning the seat for all of it, all that down there. Now, so that's going to be incredibly hard. So, we'll see, I guess. Oh my goodness gracious, look what all just came out of there. So I just wrapped this up a little bit and shoved it down in the hole with a little bit of gasoline and spun it around. And oh my gosh, so much came out. Okay, so I think This is about as clean as I'm going to get down there. So, now I'm going to clean... Ooh. Okay, so my camera died, but it's back charging now. So, I did a bunch more cleaning. Look at that, it's much better. The trick was... toothpick. How I didn't think of it, I have no idea. It's cleaned up really well. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more on this one, like going around the edges. Same with this one. And then I'm going to say it's time to reassemble. I still was not able to get the slide out of this one. But this one I think will be okay. It still works. I mean, this one honestly works better than the other one. I honestly think that this one is missing a screw. Or not a screw, a spring. Pretty sure there's supposed to be a spring that helps push this back out. I'm going to try and figure it out. But I think I might need to go online and buy a spring to put in this one. So I'm also going to be cleaning the needles. Because I've cleaned these now. Too far. Cleaned these up. So I will get back to you once I have done all of that. Okay, so I've cleaned those float needles now. I think I'm going to give it a go at reassembling at least this part. And maybe I'll put the float back in, or not the float, that. Okay, I have this side reassembled with the floats back in there. The main jet and main jet seat back in there, all cleaned and nice and see-through hopefully now. Now, I'm going to move on to this side. I did clean inside that main jet seat. I just kind of pushed that down in there and tried everything I could to get as much out as possible. I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but I'm going to try my best. Let's give it a go, I guess. Okay, just something I noticed. The little rod, that one, maybe if it'll focus. Sorry, there we go. That little one sticking out on the side there. If you have it on any metal surface with any shavings at all, make sure to clean it off before you put it in because it will stick. It is apparently just slightly magnetic enough to have rust particles stick to it. So, if you don't want that getting in your engine, I recommend cleaning it before you put everything in. I just do this because it feels like a good idea. I spray all of the floats down with gas before they put them inside as well. Just a recommendation, just like I said. I'm going to put the seat and main jet back in. Okay, one thing to remember is that the seats will go in and you'll have to tighten them down a pretty good amount. Don't strip it. That is a major pain in the butt if you do. Same with the main jet. It goes in pretty tight, but don't try and go crazy on it. You'll strip it and it'll stink. So, now that I have most of this reassembled, I think it'll be a good idea to reassemble the float bowls and everything like that and see about putting everything back together and maybe putting it back on the bike and trying to start it again. Okay, just to let you guys know, this is not perfectly clean. This is not perfectly clean, and what I just put back together is not perfectly clean. I honestly probably should have done a bit of a better job cleaning. I am putting it back together a little bit dirtier than you should. Definitely clean as much as you possibly can, because the smallest, littlest things can get into your engine and ruin your day. Okay, so these are all now finger tight. I'm going to grab him, put him on there, switch him the opposite way. I'm going to tighten these screws. Lightly, not really hard. You don't want to strip your bolts. So I'm going to do that for all of these. We'll flip it around and put all that back together. Alright. Okay, the bottom's all put together. So now I'm going to put in these two screws here. The one has the choke holder on it. Oh no, that's what I forgot. I forgot to check the choke. Oh no. Okay, I think it'll be alright. Let me just do some stuff for a second. Then we'll put this all back together. Dang it. Okay, so my choke is supposed to do that. This side is detached. I can make that little rubber boot right there move, but I can't get it back into this piece. So for now, I think I'm just going to reassemble. Okay, the carburetor is fully reassembled. So we have throttle, and then we have our slides. Now this slide stays up for one reason, I think. There we go. I think that this side, the side that was not the one that I couldn't remove, but the one I could remove, is missing its slide spring. So I'm going to put it back in the bike for now, but I am definitely going to have to order a slide spring for this side. And when I do that, I'm also going to try my best to remove this one and see if I can't do upgraded slide springs for both of these, so that way I get faster throttle response on my bike. But, because if you look, this one, you know, it does that. This one, you go to do that, it does the noise thingy and all that, but it won't come back down. Where'd it go? You have to tilt it back up enough, and now it's back down. Luckily, it's upright in the bike, so it'll come back down, but it won't come down at the same speed as this one, and so that might be a little bit dangerous. So for now, I'm only going to really do sitting running. I'm not going to try driving it, because that would just be dangerous. So I'm going to get a new one of these springs in here before I do anything. Almost forgot to put my idle adjustment screw back in. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will then say the carburetor is fully put together. Okay, now my idle adjustment screw, this one right here, is back in. Pushes my throttle up or down based on how much I adjust the screw. So I think it's time to go reinstall it in the bike. It is incredibly laid out. So I think I really want to try at least starting it maybe one time. Alright, see you soon. Okay, so the bike is on this side of the garage. The carburetors are going to be going right there. Might have to do a little bit of cleaning. But this side of the garage is much darker than this side. So I had to bring my light over. And let's get to work reinstalling these carburetors. Okay, so just before I put these carburetors back in, I've been dealing with a little bit of backfiring out of the carbs before I clean them. I still haven't tuned them yet, which is something I definitely should do. But I want to show you guys, I had a massive fire on this bike already. So I want to show you guys the damage that did. So down here is mostly where it was, and just a lot of cords got burned. Somehow, though, they're all okay. Like, all this still works just fine. This cord got a little crispy, and this one just got a little tiny bit burnt. So I was definitely going to clean these carbs out one way or another. I'm cleaning these carbs, not only for that reason, but because it needed to be done, but that was a massive reason why I needed to get this done right now. As it turns out, this bike is also low on oil. So as soon as possible, I'm going to go to AutoZone and buy some oil to put in this so I can actually run it without being scared everything's going to lock up the second I try. So I've decided instead of starting it today, I'll just reinstall the carburetor, and that'll probably be it. Which kind of stinks, I know, but safety first, right? That's what's important. Really, I'm just trying to protect my $700 purchase. Alright, let's reinstall these carbs. Okay, I also forgot to tell you that they're attached to the head by these rubber pieces right here. And the way you remove your carbs, you unscrew these metal rings around it, and it'll loosen the rubber, and you can get it out. It's kind of a pain, not as hard as the Ninja 250. Oh my gosh, what a horrible, horrible design that bike was. Great bike, horrible design for trying to get those carburetors in and out. This bike with this wide open frame like this, much better. But I'm gonna go and do this. My camera's dying again, so I'm gonna go plug it in while I do that. All the way up to the head of the carburetor. And even that wasn't really that hard. Now, I'm going to tighten down these metal rings here. Then these will be all the way in, and we'll see about doing the spark plugs. Okay, so I also forgot to tell you guys, I reconnected the throttle cable and choke cable. All really easy stuff, don't worry about that too much. You just kinda... Oh, it's so hard to explain, I should have shown you guys. I am so sorry. But I also fixed the choke. So there was a line separation up here. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you guys because you can't see it. But there's a line separation of a coupler they had put on. So now, when I choke, it actually moves. It's a little bit sticky still. It's a little hard. But it works. At least for the one carb. Because this side is still not quite right. I'm going to check my oil, see how much oil I actually have, and I don't know, I think this is going to be the end of the video. Okay, so, let's move this. We definitely need a new battery, I know that much. So I'm definitely going to have to get a new one of those, but I will see about maybe ordering one. They're expensive this time, man. But I also don't have a lot of oil. So I think I'm going to need to fill that up. But it is leaning to the left side just a little bit because it is on its kickstand. So let me lean it back this way. Just a little bit. Yeah, see? There it is, but that's... I don't know if that's enough. I should probably do an oil change anyway. Cause see, lean it right back over and it's just... This is about straight up, I'd say. Right about there is probably straight. That doesn't seem like enough, you know? I think I'll put a little bit more in. Definitely have to go to AutoZone, get some more oil. And I'll see about ordering a new battery, because I need to do that. I think I'll give it one crank, just one crank. No fuel or anything, just to crank it. I think that'll be it. Alright. Like anything, I love this bike already. I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, is that not beautiful? So, one crank, and then we're putting it right back. Just because I gotta see it crank. Okay. Alright, that's all for tonight, just because I don't want to hate myself if anything happens.